I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. We just finished up this piano and it's being delivered today. The family is super excited. They spent a number of years in England, in London, working for a firm there, and they found this piano and it's just super cool. It's a typical English design piano. You'll see in just a second. It's an 1885 Broadwood, which is from London. They're manufactured in London going way back, and then 1885 actually they'd been manufacturing already for a long time. I can't remember how long. I mean, it might be as much as like 100 years or more since they were manufacturing in London by 1885. So this piano is very different from all of these other pianos that we do. Like this is kind of typical of the kind of American pianos that we do. All of these are American. We got a Japanese piano over there, but most of the rebuilds are like 1890 to 1930 American-built pianos. So this one posed a particular challenge for those of you that are kind of in the piano community. You might be aware of birdcage actions, and that's what this one is. So this one has a totally different sound, and it's just a totally different feel. And they'd had it for a long time. They'd been back from London for over a decade, and they'd just kind of been storing this piano in their family room, and it was totally unplayable. It was awful. I guess I'll just say that. It sounded terrible. The notes were completely out, and it was miserable to play, miserable to the touch, everything about it, except that it just kind of looks cool, and it's sort of a fun memento of their time in London. But now it's an instrument. So let's kind of look at it. Well, why don't we look at the outside first? So this is rosewood, Brazilian rosewood, which is illegal now because it was so over harvested for furniture at this time. Not just pianos, but pianos were one of the many applications for Brazilian rosewood. But it sure is beautiful. And we've refinished it, and I think it really turned out well. We found these candelabras on eBay because this piano didn't have candelabras on it. It had little holes here, which confirmed that it, or I guess clued us in at first that it did originally have candelabras. The holes were fairly faint. They were covered over and they were disguised, but you could still sort of see them, and so that clued us in. So we looked on some advertisements from the era, which are not photos, but drawings, from the 1880s, drawings of these pianos, and we found these candelabras on eBay. They were also actually for sale on eBay in London, and so they look like as far as what we could tell, what was on the drawing in that old 1880s ad. And so we went ahead and purchased them, and now I think they look great. These pedals, again, another kind of unique detail. These pedals are made of wood, which is crazy to have wooden pedals. And this piano originally, it just had one of these little brass discs here. And so I took the one brass disc to my friend Mike Rowley in Duchesne, who's a machinist, and had him duplicate that brass disc, and now you can't even tell which one is original and which one is new. He's that good. Thanks, Mike Rowley. I have a lot of respect for machinists. Those dudes know what they're doing. Then continuing with the cosmetics of this. This is original. This is original. This little lock here is original. This John Broadwood and Sons London. We're thinking that it's made of bone, kind of that yellowish tinge, and it's definitely, when we sanded this as part of the refinishing, it just kind of sanded along with the wood. So that's what we're thinking it is, and I think that was common practice. This is ivory, elephant tusk, and the ivory was in actually pretty decent condition. We did a lot of work on it to clean it up, got some of the yellow out. There's nothing we can do to get the cracks out of it, but the wood or ivory works a lot like wood, and so it just cleaned it up nicely, and now it looks really good. So let's check out the inside now to reveal. Oh, one more little thing. This is the little music desk. So before the days of electric light in London, you could have your candles here and see your sheet music. A lot of piano technicians dread working on birdcage actions because they are tricky, and here is why. In here, they are just they're a beast, and very different action. They're almost as bad as square grands, but square grands are worse, for sure. So, we've replaced, you can see all of the hammers and dampers. I'll pull this out. You can see the new hammers, new shanks, new dampers, refurbished. Everything else sanded. Everything was completely apart, and everything was sanded down. You can see how the wood, like the frame and all of that, everything looks new and fresh. That's just because it's all sanded down and just kind of clean things up. You can see the new strings on there. New pins, and those pins are very tight. And obviously new felt, and the soundboard is original, but we've patched things up on the soundboard and lacquered it so it looks nice again. And then the screws, just those are the original screws. We just take them out and polish them up just because it looks nice. No real reason to do that other than it just kind of looks nice. And it's the little notch. There it goes. Maybe. So the tone of this piano, there again, it's not like an American piano, which American pianos are big and thundering, powerful. And this piano is much more what you think of, or at least what I think of as a European. You know, I think of especially the early pianos, so like 18th century pianos. I think this is actually has frankly more in common with the 18th century piano building tradition than with the 19th and 20th century building, because of the tone. That's why I say that. The design, which of course affects the tone. It's just kind of a gentle sort of. McKinley, do you know any Beethoven or something that you could play, or anything classical? I don't really know classical very well, and this piano seems to need something more European than jazz. Can I put you on the spot? I didn't talk to McKinley about this before making this video.
I bet he knows some classical.
I just feel like playing the American songbook on this piano would be kind of sacrilegious.
I know, Baroque.
That would work. Very nice. That's cool. Yeah.
Thank you, McKinley. The fans go wild in the background.
Thanks, McKinley. Very nice. I think the
We should have him
original-
play more often.
Yeah, we should. I think the makers of this piano would approve of that. Anyway, so there it is, the 1885 Broadwood. I think this piano is going to last a lot longer now that it's all restored, and the people are super excited. It was really cute, really fun to show them this piano, kind of give them a tour. They were super excited to have this treasure from their days in London restored.